and then kind of Cleveland was able to obviously call that win this one. I guess what kind of happened down the stretch?
Yeah, obviously we had a couple really big offensive possessions that were, we turned it over, which led to quick baskets for them. Had an offensive foul. Mitchell had a steal on one. So those obviously were, and we had one possession I think as well where we got a really poor shot, but it started a break. So probably just not scoring enough to get our defense set up. We were kind of in scramble mode, playing transition defense there late in the game. Yeah.
Obviously, Jalen Tyson had a big game for them. I guess how do you guys were able to kind of shut his water off?
Yeah, obviously we were super focused on Mitchell and trying to do some things there. And listen, he made every three he took, which he is a good 3-point shooter, but he made a bunch of tough kind of floaters down the lane off the glass. He just played really well. I think a lot of the stuff we were doing was pretty effective. He just kind of kept making every play for him. Yeah.
Nick, why do you think these two games and maybe this matchup for Tyrese was such a struggle? He just felt like he could never get going as a scorer.
Yeah, I think obviously they got some great size. They did a pretty good job of putting two on him a lot. It didn't get a whole lot, I thought, at the basket. He had a few chances, and again, I think maybe like his last shot he made was a pretty nice floater before he gets to the secondary defender, which is something more he's got to use. I thought he did have some good looks at three. Just didn't make as many as he probably normally would. He liked of for sure, but they do a pretty good job with their length and putting two on him and pulling over towards Joel, and I thought we did a pretty good job for a lot stretches of the game playing through some other guys and getting it to the weak side, and especially there at that stretch to start the fourth, the offense was really, really good. We got ball moving and got to the rim and got open catch and shoots and stuff there for a stretch. Just not good enough down the stretch though. I don't think either making a shot or getting a good enough one. Yeah.
Kelly and Quentin were able to give you guys a big boost off the bench. Just what did you just kind of make of their offensive kind of performances?
Yeah, those guys did a good job. There's pretty significant minutes there. I think I mentioned that before the game. The choices are go big and try to match their size or make them match yours. And for the most part, I think it was, I think the guys we had in there were the guys we wanted in there. And I think Q had a really long stretch there. I thought Kelly was playing pretty well. It was a coin toss between them really. So, I thought, again, they did a good job.
Yeah, so you mentioned not good enough down the stretch. Just overall this season, how would you evaluate how you guys have played kind of in these crunch time, down to the wire moments?
Listen, I think early on, I think we played really well. I think that, obviously this one wasn't very good. There's been a couple other ones where we could have executed some things. The game in Toronto, we didn't get the ball in bounds, and we had a couple guys that made pretty simple plays to make, and we didn't make them. But obviously, it kind of evens out a lot over the year, and I thought we were really great early, and I think we've got to get a little bit better right now at it. Yeah.
What do you make of the chemistry between Joel and Paul? Because it sounds like they're starting to hit a stride between them, like spacing and passing one another.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's finally some minutes there between them. I think there's some ceiling to get to with it for sure with some more time. I think again we probably could. I think Paul, that plays 30 minutes, could probably get a little bit more involved in some things offensively as well. But again, more time and more opportunities to play together, should help that.
You talked in practice about wanting VJ to be aggressive offensively at that sort of mid-range pull-up you talked about. I think that was your first basket of the game, but then he only ends with 5 shots. I guess just what do you make of that number? Is that about him not being aggressive enough? Is that what Cleveland was doing against him defensively?
No, I think that, certainly not probably aggressive enough. I think, again, I keep saying that there's opportunities kind of in the open floor that we'd like him to be more aggressive, right? I think there was a couple where I think he could have went, down, with his patented kind of down the lane, rise up and get to the front of the rim. Always going to encourage that. I don't think he had a ton of opportunities tonight. I think that, Joel kind of had it going and was in his hands a lot and things like that. I thought BJ did a heck of a job of working on Mitchell and all those guys did. And just one of those games where the ball didn't find him much.
You went to Trendon in that pocket in the middle of the
Mhm.
second quarter that had been Jarrett for a while, and then you went back to him over Jabari in the second half. I guess just what did you make of Trendon's minutes, and what have you liked about the way he's looked recently?
Yeah, so I think that we had just a little bit of a rough patch in the second with execution and ball handling, and decided to go with him for that. And again, I think I liked them having to play our smaller lineup than I did our bigger lineup.
Tyrese, just kind of those last couple of minutes down the stretch period, just how would you describe both ends of the fourth?
Offensively, I think we did a pretty good job, man. We got some good shots. Myself and Joel's two-man game was really good. They started to trap it. They trapped me one time, tried to throw it to Joel. Then we went to 12. They trapped me again. I threw it to VJ, got some pretty good looks. And then defensively, they made some tough shots. Tyson had a really good game. We were getting the ball out of Donovan's hands, and he made us pay.
What do you think Cleveland did well against you, specifically these last two games? And I guess
Right.
looking back at both of them, what would you like to have back in terms of what you could have done?
They do a good job of just like on all my ball screens, and they just put a lot of attention on me. So it's a lot of times, even when I'm coming off the ball screen with Joel and Jerry Allen's guarding him, and I'm just stringing them out, he stays on me, and I'm throwing it back to Joel. So, I mean, that was that, and then I missed some good looks tonight.
Tyrese, are they a difficult matchup? One of the more difficult matchup defensively for you guys in the league?
I mean, as of right now, it looks like it. We 0-3 versus them. So, and we try to find different ways to figure out the double big lineup. You know what I mean? The double guard lineup with Mitch and DG, and then sometimes Porter and Tyson. So as of right now, I guess they got to be right. We 0-3 versus them, and it's been difficult for us to beat them.
When a guy like Tyson is going off like he did tonight, I guess how do you figure out the line between you guys want to send help on
Right.
Mitchell when he drives, and a lot of times you're one pass away,
Mm-hmm.
but then also staying tight on someone like Tyson.
Right.
It's just going
It's
crazy.
a fine line of it. We kind of treat tonight kind of like a playoff game. Like last game was game one. And then tonight, sometimes the playoff games, you just say, listen, this guy can't beat us tonight. And that's what we did. And, we made somebody else beat us, and he did. He made shots. He played really well. So definitely is a fine line because we know he shoots, now I got to at least be 48 from three. So it's difficult.
Cleveland didn't have Darius Garland tonight. How does not having a player like that sort of change your approach for the team when you don't have an obvious target to be like, well, I'm just having a over game?
It didn't really change much. We didn't really pick on DG last game either. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of played our game. We played a lot of two-man game, played a lot of different actions. So we weren't really worried too much about DG not playing.
When you see VJ is having a night where he's 4 or 5, but he's only taking 5 shots, is there anything that you're saying to him to try to get that aggression back?
Be aggressive. Like my biggest thing with him is I want him to, every single transition where he gets a one-on-one opportunity, I want him to go. I don't really care what the outcome is, whether I think it's going to be a layup or a foul, or he's going to create a play for somebody else. Those are the ones I really want him to just start being aggressive at. It's kind of like a situation where, Tyson picked me up basically full court the entire game, face guard, and I told him, I remember when I was in his shoes, when James was here, James used to tell me, listen, this is your time. They play 4-on-4, kick it head to you, and you go down here and make plays. And that's what we're going to need him to do. So I got to put a better job of just getting him the ball more and tell him to be aggressive.
How much is that a process, though, especially for a player so young to really
Definitely.
Figure that out? what you guys are wanting to do and things like that?
No, it's definitely a process, man. He's played so many different roles for us this year. He's had to score, he's had to lead lineups, he's had to guard the best player, and he's just growing every single day. And he's doing a really good job of handling it all. Most rookies come in at top 3 pick, not on a playoff team or a team that's trying to win. So, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to win, and he's just done a great job of playing different hats.
I know it's maybe a little early to be looking at standings and stuff like that, but you just mentioned obviously 0-3 against this team now.
Mhm.
When you look at tonight, even maybe going back to the first Toronto game when kind of 2 that slipped away, it is kind of those were 2 that we could have had.
We got plenty of them.
Yeah.
We've had plenty of them. Like, if I sat here and counted them all, at least be 8, I think 7 or 8 this year, where we just had it in our hands and we let them slip away. 2 Detroit games up in the fourth quarter, let them slip away. Chicago, same thing. 2 of those games, let them slip away. And Toronto as well, both times, here and there. Had them beat kinda, and then let the game slip away. It's probably more. Those are the ones that come off the top of my head. But those hurt. But it's okay. You gotta keep going. We got 42 more. Got 42 more games, so you can't dwell on it.
I guess with that said, what are do you feel like the next steps or the biggest improvements you guys can make to put more of those?
Finishing them, man. Like, it's little plays. Like, I remember in Toronto, it was a rebound that I was like, I'll just let Bona get it, and I didn't go for it. Then something weird happens, it goes off Bona's foot or something like that. Like, those plays like that, loose balls is what's really been killing us. Like, we've done a really good job defensively of just playing sound defense, and then broken play, someone gets a loose ball, hits a 3, or gets a dunk, and those come back to bite you.
Joel, just what improvements overall as a team do you guys need to make in these kind of down to the wire games in crunch time?
I don't know. We just need to be organized and I guess keep running the same plays that are working.
Obviously, Jalen had a really good game. I guess what kind of allowed him to go off against you guys?
Obviously, got a little bit free because we were actually aggressive on Donovan tonight. Credit to him, took advantage of it and he made big shots.
Where are you guys at, as the schedule kind of gets towards the middle of the season? What do you have to do to improve, and where do you guys think you're at, just kind of big picture?
We got a long way to go, but we got to close games, and we've had a lot of, games that we probably wish we could take it back. Felt like tonight was one of those, having the lead most of the game, and then making a run at the end. This happened to us a few times, so yeah, just continue to get locked in and keep getting better and learn from it.
VJ only took 5 shots tonight. I guess how do you kind of make sure I guess like a little more involved in the offense and getting him a couple more shots.
Yeah, I think it depends on the flow of the game. Obviously, some nights, some guys are gonna, shoot a lot, and some nights, some are not gonna, get the chance to, get, those shots up. But I don't think that's the way. When it comes to our basketball team, that's not the way to look at it. It's just about, being together, playing hard, whether shots are coming in or falling or not. Keep playing hard and especially starting on defense, and that creates easy offense.
Nick has talked about wanting to develop continuity with lineups built around Paul and BJ, which would theoretically allow you and Tyrese to share the floor more often and do less staggering. I guess, how much do you think that would help the both of you to be able to lean on each other in that 2-man game that you guys have more often?
It's great. Obviously, I think we've always had that chemistry. But at times it's also good to kind of mix it up, just to make sure that there's always whether it's a combination of me, P, VJP, Tyrese, me, always, 2 of us on the floor at the same time. So, whether we have a lead, we're able to maintain it, stay afloat. But we trust him to make the right decisions, and whatever he thinks, or whatever lineup he thinks is best out there. We trust him to make those decisions. He's a coach.
VJ, what do you think the problem was down the stretch there?
It's execution, and then just communication on defensive end. That's it, mainly. Execution and communication, so yeah.
Nick has talked recently about wanting to build continuity in lineups centered around you and PG. I guess just what have you made of the minutes when you guys are sort of the lead ball handlers out there?
I thought we did pretty well. I don't know the exact plus minus of it, but I know it was no blowout or nothing like that. We were still in the game. We went on the run, they went on the run. So it probably balanced out each other, but I think we did pretty well. PG was aggressive, making a lot of shots. Q also made a lot of plays.
Has it ever been difficult for you to sort of toggle your mindset between, like, in the starting lineup, it might be a lot of spot up threes, and then those lineups, like early in the second quarter where it's you and Paul, you need to be more assertive with the ball in your hands? Is it ever difficult for you to sort of flip back and forth between those roles?
No. Just gotta stay aggressive at all time, regardless of the lineups. And also my team need for me. Tonight I wasn't as aggressive as I normally am. So yeah.
Tyrese has said that he kind of has been imploring you to, like, if you have an opportunity, like, just go, like, a transition or anything like that. And how is it kind of like a process between balancing being aggressive but also realizing you're being surrounded by, like, Tyrese Maxey and Joel and then their shots and things like that?
It's basketball. Like I said, they're really good. They're really great players. They require a lot of gravity also. But you always want to get, the great players some good shots and good looks. I felt like pretty overall, they all had good looks. But like I said, transition, that's where I got to get mine. But in the half court, like I said, I can still be aggressive. But like I said, we know Joel gonna make shots. We know Joel gonna make plays. P gonna do the same thing. Tyrese gonna do the same thing. So we just gotta get stops. To be honest, that's the main thing. Just on the defensive end, we just gotta be better. So yeah.